Next question, we will begin with Mr. Greenberg. What investments in parks, libraries, arts, culture, and recreation would most improve quality of life in Louisville?
This is an area where we need to continue our investing. Parks and libraries are some of the gems of our community, places where families can go to learn, to be safe, to expand their horizons, to get healthy outdoor activity. We've invested significantly in our libraries, reopened and expanded the Parkland and Portland Library, the Parkland Library being closed for 46 years. A new library is under construction in Fern Creek. By the end of my first term as mayor, we'll have invested over $100 million improving parks all across the community. From the South End Jefferson Memorial Forest, the new Nick Rodman Legacy Park. In the West End, we have the best water park in the entire region, Algonquin Park. In the East End, Hounds Lane Park, and in every one of the 120 parks all across our community. These are the gems of our city that bring us together, and we'll keep investing.
Mr. DeVore?
Well, I have a problem with that. The fact that I even on a news article that said that the Memorial Gym, or the auditorium, which is over on 97 South 4th Street, is not going to be funded. Now, we have a lot of good things that happen in that auditorium where middle-class folks can enjoy life and see ballet and see different things when it comes to art, and kids are getting involved. So we need to fund that auditorium. This auditorium was in May of 2029, and the people used it to honor the World War II veterans. So I'm asking the mayor to fund that auditorium so we can have that back. That's history, real history we have for a long time. Just an example.
Ms. Pierce, right?
Thank you. The budget is a moral document. That's what you're hearing. A lot of decisions are made without the people's input. We need a participatory budget that really directs where our funding is going, because these are not the administration's dollars. These are your tax dollars. We have libraries are pillars. Parks are pillars, and we need investment in all of our parks, and we can find the money to do that. I always speak on Shively Library. It's one of the most used library, but small, the smallest library. And so those decisions made. Mr. DeVore is right. I used to go to concerts in that auditorium. And so we do good at making things look good on paper, but we do not follow through. I'm tired of pilot projects. I'm tired of the startup things that we don't invest in. I want to work for the people and invest in where they think the money should go.
Repeating the question, what investments in parks, libraries, arts, culture, and recreation would most improve quality of life in Louisville, Ms. Burnell?
Well, I'm going to agree with Mayor Greenberg on this. I think that we are making solid investments in these things, and I think they are crucial to our community, things that people can do, things that people can love and get out and enjoy. And so I think we need to continue the investment as it is going.
Mr. DiTillo.
As far the parks and the libraries, I can tell you that in the District 21 where I'm from and the surrounding areas, you cannot go to a park or library without seeing the orange caps from syringes, the abandoned clothing from the people that had just left a few hours before if they were pushed away, or maybe they're still sleeping in the bushes with a pile of their belongings. It's the homelessness and the addiction that's making the parks and libraries to be not as attractive as they should be, not as safe as they should be. We have to address the addiction crisis and the homelessness crisis that holds hands to be able to focus on other things that we need to take a look at.
Mr. Hurt.
Thank you. The things that the mayor mentioned are actually really great, but they're largely built for visitors, not for our locals. Our neighborhoods haven't been invested in. We know that one of the biggest challenges for young artists is housing, and I propose that we double down on an LO project, which is really amazing, where they invite four young composers to live in the city and provide housing for them. It's something Detroit did where they said, if you live here and work here, we'll give you a house for 10 years. I think that's a wonderful idea for building up a housing community. And lastly, parks are the gem of our community, and we need to remove through traffic from them.
Repeating the question, what investments in parks, libraries, arts, culture, and recreation would most improve quality of life in Louisville? Mr. Bailey.
Committed to funding parks and recreational activities in parts of Louisville that are often overlooked. It is great that Fern Creek is getting a library, but Fern Creek is not the only place in Louisville that needs help. There are other parts of Louisville, like the West End and places in the south of Louisville, that need more parks, more libraries, more things to keep young children's minds occupied.